Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the bogey-free podcast for the Wells Fargo. I'm your host, Evan Cheney, today joined by my co-host, Matt and Jimmy. How you doing today, guys?
Behind.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a Monday, and we're recording earlier, and it has thrown my entire preparation process off. So I don't know. Last time when Matt and I had to wing it without you, Ev, I had a pretty awesome week. So maybe the key is to just kind of go by feel and just ignore some of the stats, and maybe not get too far into it. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say that I was the bad luck charm or something.
No, I don't think so. I mean, are you bad luck? Did the Sixers win the game you went to, or no?
I've been to all the games so far. So
I don't follow basketball. Are they winning?
2-1. 2-1.
I've just been to every single one, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's one way to make sure that the stats are skewed in your favor.
That's true. I've been a season ticket holder for 4 years now, so nice. It's certainly been an ordeal. Anyway, Matt, your trip to AC.
Yeah.
How'd that go for you?
Oh, just making poor decisions, staying at the craps table for too long because Nelson talked me into playing craps over all the games that I usually play. And yeah,
I mean the DFS.
It was good.
DFS. Yeah, the DFS community though would skew you toward blackjack though.
No,
we're blackjack.
I put up a poll, and Nelson was chirping me about not having craps in said poll, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And as you can see, I am drinking water tonight, so that gives you a pretty clear indication of how my weekend went.
Oh my God, we're gonna have a sober podcast. I've got an Arnold Palmer going here.
First time ever. I've never not had a beer during a podcast. So
yeah, same here. So I went with an Arnold Palmer, little lemonade iced tea situation.
There you go.
Can't complain. And I have to be on my best behavior tonight because my dad just texted me that my mom's watching tonight too. So
ooh, all right.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. I mean, I suppose it's a good thing I wore a shirt for this one.
That's true.
Well, that's going to need an explanation at some point now.
No, I'm just trying to expand our viewership. It'll encourage you to watch past episodes.
Yep. We'll see.
In our line of work, that's certainly something, making people watch past episodes. But anyway, we have the Wells Fargo this week.
We do.
A little warm up before the players next week. And Matt, I'll throw it to you here. Give us a course breakdown here. Tell us what stats will be relevant for building a player pool this week.
Yeah, so I mean, for anybody who is either new to this or hasn't really followed terribly closely, it's worth mentioning that if you're looking for course history, past tournament results, this tournament was not played here last year because the PGA Championship was held at Quail Hollow. So we have a little bit of a quirk there in the course history if you're looking just for the tournament. But yeah, I mean, I think that everything that I've looked into so far has pointed towards distance being a bit more important than accuracy. I think I'm pulling it up now. So the top 10. No, I don't have it in front of me. Never mind. Jimmy, why don't you take it away for a second? I'll pull this up.
Yeah, well, so I mean, it's Quail Hollow. You look at the guys that have won here, and Rory's kind of stomping grounds. But it's a Bombers track. Weird people kind of win here too. You look at some of the winners, and like James Hahn won here kind of out of nowhere. I think he'd missed 8 cuts in a row or something and just showed up and won this event, and he did it all through par 5 scoring. So if you check out my article coming out tomorrow, dfsreport.com, it will be I'll have a full breakdown of it, but it's all par 5 scoring. It's all distance. If you don't score on the par 5s here, you're just not going to compete because the par 4s are really tough and they can and will cost some strokes. A lot is going to depend on how they set up the course this week compared to, past years and compared to how it was set up for the PGA Championship last year. I, for one, think that it's probably going to be an easier setup. The greens have had another year to mature. I don't think they want to make these guys really pay for it. The course is already tougher in general than it ever was before because it's still going to be a par 71. The first hole is still going to be a monster par 4. And the 450-yard plus par fours, or there's 7 of them on the course, and they are going to play, as the most difficult group. So you're going to need to make your hay on the 3 par fives, and then 2 short par fours this week to kind of have any shot. And you really won't be able to miss. Your golfers this week really won't be able to miss birdies on the par fives at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. So guys that finished in the top 10 for driving distance have averaged about 80 DK points, and the top 10 in driving accuracy has been around 68 DK points. So definitely not a huge difference in actual like scoring relative to par, but definitely, like you're mentioning, more par 5 chances, things like that. So it definitely does make a difference this week.
Okay. Anything else to add on to that, guys?
No, I mean, really, the course is it's a really big question mark on how they set it up and how it's going to play. And, it's not going to play as easy because it's 1 stroke less as in par 71 compared to the previous year's par 72s. But there's just a lot of question marks. I think that the rough is down. I think it becomes a bomber's track again. Weather does and can play a factor here. So I haven't even looked at weather, but pay attention to it. If the course is soaked, definitely favor the bombers. But if it's really dry and running, the shorter guys can compete. But I think a lot is just a big question mark on how the grounds crew set it up this week.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, we'll throw it to our 10K and up guys here. We have, I think, 4. Yeah, we have McIlroy, Thomas, Fowler, Day in this range. Matt, I'll give it to you first. Who do you like, and who will you be overweight and underweight on this week in this price range?
Yeah, this is one of those things where if you just look at Rory's history here, as much as I am not a banger of the drum for the course history crowd, the way that I think it was, what was it, 15, Jimmy, that he was like 21 under, he set like all the records that year.
Yeah, he really ran away with that tournament that year.
Like it was unfair. Like
yeah,
it was.
Everyone, there was no catching him. Everybody on Sunday was playing for second place for sure.
So it's hard. Like I said, I'm not huge into that.
Huge.
But he's made 8 of 10 cuts here. It looks like. Shout out to Fanshare, by the way, for putting out this new little form/course history sheet. It's very handy. And I've been playing around with the Fantasy National models, the new thing, all morning. So I'll definitely have my fair share of Rory, though I do believe that he will obviously be chalky because everybody knows how good he's been here. If it shakes out that ownership is going to be less on the guys below him, then I'll probably hit them in some GPPs. I think JT makes sense. He won the PGA Championship here last year, obviously. And I'm just always a sucker for Ricky. I don't know about Day. Jimmy, what are your thoughts on Day? I think I'd rather go with the other.
Yeah, I don't know. I made my money on Day earlier in the year, and I'm not really too concerned about like trying to chase him anymore. I don't really see it for his form. I don't know. It's just not that he can't do it. He's just not where I'm focused this week, I guess. Early on, that could change, but for what it's worth, the simulator and Fantasy National really likes him. But I don't know. I just don't think I don't think days where I'm going to be going up in this range.
Yeah.
Which probably makes him an inherently good GPP play.
I was going to say, are you gonna eat the chalk with Rory or?
I think if I'm going to eat chalk, it's JT.
There he is.
I have a feeling that I might like some. I feel like I might sound a lot like Matt tonight. I'm actually
probably the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like that. I'm actually surprised you didn't kind of go after JT and really say his middle name and everything, which I can't even remember. What's his name?
Lewis.
Justin Lewis. How do you can't be a host on the show and forget that?
That's the brand, man.
Yeah.
Well, I left it for you. I was hoping you'd, I thought you were going to pick JT. I don't think Ricky's my guy at 11-1. I think Ricky is fine. He'll probably play well, but I don't think I'm probably not going to play too heavy this week because I have my sights kind of set on the players. But I'll probably just take JT out of this top group, and then the next guys I'm focused on are probably lower. But JT is, I mean, he's finished 7th here like 2 years ago. He obviously, and then he won last year here at the track setup on a much difficult, with a much more difficult setup. I think he can absolutely crush this track. He's been playing well. He's been a little under the radar for JT, but he's still like, you talk about the guy with maybe the most win equity up here. I think it's Justin Thomas. Rory's right behind him, and you can't take away anything from what Rory's doing. But I think I'll just save the $500, take Justin Thomas, and then just get out of this range this week for the few lineups I'm going to play.
Yeah, I mean the course will set up differently, obviously, but it's not like it's definitely not going to be harder, right? And so
I feel like it's certainly going to be easier.
Yeah, so even if it's like pretty close, you have a guy who won here last year, so there's not really, you can't really poke too many holes in JT no matter what you're looking at. I feel like so. Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit hesitant just in case the ownership goes high on him, but I don't know. Like, again, it's at 7 o'clock on Monday. I have no idea what ownership.
Yeah, exactly. I think, I think that's maybe part of what helped us last time too, is we did it a little early, and we weren't, we weren't so concerned about where ownership was landing. We were just concerned about good plays. And I think that's how I just ended up on some of, my guys early on in the week without kind of factoring in ownership. So, I mean, not that it's not important, but I think, it's easy to get caught into it too much.
Yeah, I mean, you have a guy like Roger Casey who pretty much just ignores ownership and does pretty well for himself. So
he also only plays cash games, which is a huge difference.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel I know you're not.
Ownership is important.
It's important, but it's not like the be all end all. Like, it's
exactly,
you still have to be on the right guys. So if you can, I've been noticing more and more recently that some of these GPPs, maybe you don't you're not shipping them constantly, but you can get away with easily 3 chalky guys as long as you hit one, I don't know, maybe 2 sub-5 guys. It doesn't you don't need to be on the 0.9% guy every week. And I think I tend to do that. And I'm trying to speak it into existence that I'm not going to do that anymore.
There you go. If gotta do what works, man.
Yeah. So
shout out to Joaquin Neiman last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
My guy carried me through.
There you go. All right. We'll dip down to the 9K range then. We have a few guys over there. Jimmy, I'll throw it to you first. Who you on in this range?
9K. Let me get to a 9K guy. Oh, it's Decky, and it's not really close.
Okay. I mean, I could see it. He crushes par 5s.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where the ownership falls in here. I would say that Tiger and Fleetwood are lesser owned than Phil and Decky and Reed. I don't know. Is anybody gonna play Patrick Reed?
I'm not.
You can make a case for it. In the last 12 months, he's 7th in strokes gained in par 5s.
It's interesting.
So,
yeah, I think it's just Decky for me here. I think that, again, I'm only playing a few lineups, and I'm really concentrating my ownership. I don't think putting is that important this week, and that's why I think probably from here on out you'll see me trend towards guys that are not great putters, but I feel like they have everything else working in their favor. And Decky is just one of those guys. Yeah. Fleetwood's interesting too, because he's definitely starting to play better again, and I think that he is a very capable guy in a field like this. So Tiger's the big question mark. I'm sitting here looking at him. Everybody misses the fairways at this course. I mean, you're not going to hit tons of fairways here, and that's kind of the point. So maybe his driver's not the biggest concern, which he turned around a little bit at the Masters. Then everything else went to hell.
Right, I was going to say that was the only thing that worked.
Yeah, exactly. But I was but I mean, it is Tiger Woods, so I don't know. I doubt I go there, but I can
the goddamn
see why you would select him.
No, there's going to be people that go there.
Well, and probably rightfully so. I bet there's some really sharp people that play 100% of him.
I mean, I can't see it this week, but
let's go.
Yeah,
dude, if you go and check some of the fantasy labs ownership contest dashboards, and you look at some of the ownerships of and exposures of those guys, I bet you'll find. Well, I know you'll find one of them playing 100%, but you'd be shocked sometimes at who they go 100% on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take their stance for sure. Yeah. So Matt, same question to you. Who are you like in this 9K range?
Yeah, I think it's time where I can get back on Hideki as well. I don't know. I just feel like he has to start. Not that he didn't play. He played well at the Masters, and he, what was he, top 20 maybe?
Right.
So 19th. So I guess that's sort of enough to show me that he's back. I was definitely nervous. I think it was API. He made the cut, but didn't really do much. And I was hesitant then. Again, this is sort of dependent on ownership. I know that Reed is probably a good play, but I don't typically play him, so I don't see myself getting out of that mold right now. I might just go overweight on Phil and sort of match the field with Hideki and Tiger and Fleetwood and just like balance it out a little bit that way and just call it a day. Like I'm definitely with you on Hideki, so we should probably both be fading him.
I'm sure he ends up chalky in this range too, though. Like, he's almost certainly the chalkiest player in this range. I don't see anybody else in the 9K like getting higher than him.
Yeah.
Would you guys consider Reed just as a leverage play over Matsuyama, given the $300 price difference?
Sure, I guess. Dude, Patrick Reed's a dick, man.
I mean, he could be the worst person in the world, but he's still in the field.
I know, but I just don't like playing Patrick Reed, and I feel great about Decky. So I have a hard time just clicking over to Patrick Reed. But yes, I'm sure he will be, because I bet he goes way under owned with Day right there. And I mean, you're making a good case. Yeah, I just doubt that I click his name, because I don't like to play him.
There's no room for logic right now, Evan. I don't understand. We're both like, I'm running on like a combined 6 hours of sleep from the weekend, and Jimmy like just realized that there's golf this week like 5 minutes ago, and you're like, well, my projections. I'm like, what the hell's going on here, man?
I mean, yeah, Sixers are on tonight. My semester just ended. I'm on cloud nine.
You're
right
fired
now,
up, and you're fully entrenched in the NASCAR game now too. You're just crushing life right now.
Oh, the life! Oh, what it would be like to be in my 20s again.
I know. I just left, and I'm ready to go back.
Anyway,
yeah, I can dive into how great it is to be 21 all I could, but there's still golf going on this week, as we just found out. I'm only thinking of him just because my local sports radio station was advertising a Fleetwood Mac concert that's happening next year in Philadelphia. They're bothering me. But anyway, Tommy Fleetwood. Any love for him this week?
Yeah, I said I like him. I think he's incredibly capable. He's not the longest player off the tee, but he hits so many fairways, and he does it at like an above average distance that I think he makes up for like his lack of bomber status. And he's just exceptional approaching the green. Not the greatest putter, but again, I'm not really concerned about putting this week, at least not terribly. So I'll probably play him for the same reason I think I like Usti right below him, which is like, it's interesting to me that Usti isn't here. I mean, I know he played well at the PGA here, but he's been like sneaky good all year, and like, because he just keeps fading away on Sundays. I don't know. I think I might have like one lineup with Louis in it, because no one's going to play Louis with the guy right below him.
Yeah. Right. It makes a strong case. So Matt, I mean,
you're damn right.
Yeah.
I won't be.
I mean, you're the Finau love.
All the goddamn Finau.
Yeah.
Every little bit of Finau.
I mean, he has to be chalky.
Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
If you go 100%, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
That is true.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying though. I mean, if he's 35% owned, obviously that's not going to deter you from playing him. But
no, because it's Tony Finau.
He's going to crush his side. I don't doubt that.
The real leverage play is the guy right below him, I think, actually.
You're going for it?
I'm not sure. I bet I have one lineup in there with him though.
You're like, this is the smart play, but I'm not going to do it. But it would be smart.
Well, no, you think, but like really, I doubt many people play Brooks. I mean, obviously, there's a huge question mark, but he played last week, and I have no idea. I don't know if they missed the cut or made the cut. He was playing with some random person, Mark with a C, I think. But anyway, I mean, Brooks is the exact game you're looking for here. He's won a major. He's, coming off some sort of injury, but like Decky's coming off a similar type of injury.
Yeah, but Decky, I think it's safe to say that Brooks's was significantly worse. Like,
I'm sure it was. I don't really have the details, but I mean, he would not have. Like, I saw a couple of videos of his coach posting videos of him online 2-3 weeks ago, and I mean, he was in aggressive swings through the ball, no issues, going at it, and then he plays an event professionally. Kind of clears the cobwebs, gets the rust off with some random person that, who cares if I win or lose or make the cut. Now he shows up to like win the big boy tournament. Yeah, that sounds like a Brooks Koepka move to me. So now I've talked myself into it. Yes, I'm playing one lineup with him.
Yeah, I had a devastating softball wrist injury last summer. And we went to the cages the other day, and it flared back up. So I'm fully against wrist injury people.
How devastating can you be injured in softball? I'm curious.
Oh, it was pretty devastating.
Really?
It was devastating. Yeah. And by devastating, I mean like maybe a sprain, and it's a little sore when it rains. But a couple of swings that I took, I felt it again, and I was like, no Brooks for me. Sorry.
So it's like the equivalent of like stepping on a Lego at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah.
That's and then like 6 months later, thinking about stepping on a Lego. Pretty much. So it's pretty. I mean, I'm dealing with a lot over here.
It's true.
Sounds intense.
You have no idea like how my brain is scrambled right now. Like I can't even. I'm like looking at some of these abbreviations on Fantasy National, and I'm having to think about it. Like I'm completely lost here. So. You should probably just be
water stat.
No, I literally drank like I think 13 bottles of water today at work.
Did you try Pedialyte?
That's not a bad idea. Listen to the 21-year-old.
That's true. My recovery skills are much better than yours.
Yeah.
So anyway, back on track.
Anyway, yeah, they are
drifted far afield.
I was gonna say something. I don't know.
We are just the best.
Yeah, this is the sharp analysis.
If you're still listening to this, God bless you.
But I'm sure your mom's still listening.
I hope.
She might have fallen asleep by now.
That's the vote of confidence we need.
Off the rails.
All right, what else we got in the 8K range then, James? What we got more Simpson, Kiz.
I'm not
Norton,
playing Berger. I know people will. I'm not going to play him this week. Home course, previous winner and all. I'm not playing him, but I think that depending on the course setup and if it's dry or wet, I think this type of player in this range from Berger to Moore or Moore to Berger, like you could stack that whole range up if you think that the shorter hitters, if the course is going to play dry and it's going to run, you could stack that whole range up and be really contrarian, I think, because I bet that whole range goes under-owned because everyone's going to trend towards bombers here.
Right. And
you could have a whole range of them. You could have an entire lineup from that range, I bet. And nobody would copy you.
Yeah. Moore, Simpson, Kisner, and Henley are all outside the top 100 in driving distance for the fields over the last 24 rounds. Like not even close. Like you couldn't even tell yourself a story that they could like maybe, you know what I mean? Like they're just not. They're nowhere near.
Exactly. Pat Mayo's got like the best analogy for figuring bombers to not bombers. He's like, listen, and bad putters. Maybe Paul Casey could putt as good as Kevin Kisner one week, but Kevin Kisner is never going to hit it as far as Paul Casey.
Right.
Right. It's
exactly.
Just, putting comes and goes, but we know these guys can't compete if it plays super long, if it's wet or anything like that. But if it's dry and you want to be contrarian.
Yeah, I think sprinkling. I mean, I don't know if I would go like more than one of those guys in the same lineup, but I think definitely maybe just build like a core you like and leave yourself 8,500 and just make 4 lineups with one of each of them, and you could probably do all right.
Yeah, but that's about it in that range.
Yeah.
For
You
me.
want to know where a hot take might lie? Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, you'd be hot with about everybody else.
Oh.
I don't know,
Bryson's
but
a golden boy now, man.
I'm looking right here, and like everyone is. Well, here's the thing: everyone's going to skip all the guys we just talked about, and they're going to land on the guy that's probably number 1 in par 5 scoring. Hits it plenty far enough. Has been posting good results at big events, and is 8,000. He's like the next best person you can play, and like everyone's going to go to him. I'm sure.
Stupid Microsoft commercials.
I think I would take Noren. I think I'd rather play Noren.
Why though?
Is that hot?
I mean,
yeah, that would be a hot take because I bet nobody plays Noren, and nobody thought he would hang with Jason Day at the Farmers.
Yeah, I mean
that was a bomber's track that he wasn't supposed to be able to compete at.
Right, and I know he missed the cut at the Masters and didn't disappoint a lot of people. He was like 10 to 15% owned, but you know, I made this sort of like bombers model that has a lot of scoring in par 5 and just a little bit of like approach and greens and regulation stuff. And he's 3rd in the last 24 rounds for me. So just something to keep an eye on. And I never play Noren, like much to my demise. I've called for fades of him and he's like been, you know, top 5 multiple times this year. So I'm done fading him. And I think that he can bounce back from the missed cut at the Masters and do all right here. That's what I'm sticking with.
There you go. There's your GPP play right there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good pivot. All right, we'll jump down to the 7K range, as it doesn't seem like we have anything else to say for that 8K range. Jimmy, I'll throw it to you first. Who are you liking here?
This range is kind of loaded. I feel like there's a bunch of guys that have a lot of good opportunities here that sort of fit the course. And I mean, you really just start with Keegan Bradley. I mean, if we like Luke List and we like, you know, Rory and these other long straight hitters that can't putt, or if I say we, meaning me, then I kind of have to like Keegan Bradley by default. I won't have like a ton of him or anything, but his game theoretically fits well. Bud Colley is interesting. Been playing pretty well recently. Same type of thing. I don't think he can win, but he'll be a contrarian GPP play. Emiliano Grillo. I know Bermuda's not really a surface to putt on, but again, longer than people think. Plenty straight enough, kind of like Francesco Molinari-ish, who played really well here at the PGA. Benny Ann's interesting, except he can't score on par 5s very well, which really has me concerned. But otherwise, he like has that. You know, that bomber type of game. Like all these guys in this range are really interesting. You got some other guys that like have some really hot form, but I think ownership flattens out in here, and I think nobody ends up terribly chalky in this range.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, with the leftovers and scraps that Jimmy just left me, I'm trying to see if I have anybody else here.
Previous champion. And Bill Haas.
Yep. All right. So 7,500 and below.
No, I mean, what are your thoughts on any of those guys, though? I mean, what about Hahn, though? I think a lot of people are going to play Hahn. I'm just not really sold on him.
Yeah, I don't really have much conviction that I would want to play Hahn over some of the guys around him. Obviously, I'm not playing Keegan. I think I could get on board a little bit with Grillo, but I think I'd rather go Colley at the same price. And Benny Am was the guy that I was going to say. He's 17th in the model that I referenced before over his last 24 rounds.
Do you think he gets popular? I kind of think he ends up as the most popular guy here.
Yeah,
like after Bryson in these ranges, I think it's him.
Yeah, I definitely think it's possible, depending on how how like lineups are going to be built and stuff this week. It's definitely possible. I don't know that he's going to get crazy, but you know, the Heritage, he played really well and didn't putt well, and that's something that I usually look for. You know, when I'm targeting a guy, it comes top 10 and lost strokes putting. I think that's a pretty safe bet for him to hopefully keep that going.
What about Chesson Hadley? I don't know if I'm going to play him, but I'm just like clicking through here, and
where's he at in pricing?
He's right at 75.
Yeah, he's just been playing really well.
I mean,
I could do it. I mean, again, like you said, I think this is probably like you just have to stake your ownership on a couple of guys here. Like there are a ton of good plays. Like this is a really one of the better fields that we've seen in a little bit, not counting like WGCs and majors. Like it's pretty solid. I mean, it dies off pretty quickly once you get to like, you know, the 6K range, but that's going to be everywhere. I could definitely do Hadley. Like their like list is right here too. Molinari is a cut maker. Like, I don't know. Do you think Ollie's going to be popular? Probably.
No,
probably not. Like, I don't know. I like Hadwin sort of popped in my models, even though he's not the longest. I mean, you got Gary Woodland down there that you got to throw a couple lineups at. Like, there's a lot to love here. Even like Kokrak, like this range is like loaded.
Hang on, just a second with Gary Woodland. Like you were playing Gary Woodland at like $9,800, and he's like 7,400 in this field.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if that speaks to like how far Gary's fallen, or to the strength of the field, or like a combination of both. But
no, I mean, he's been a disaster lately. Like it's been 5 straight events, but
it's a pretty low number. But I like how chalky does list get? Because this is the list that I like. $7,400, course that fits him, gotta have the par fives, and coming off the miscut, and missed the cut the last 2 times he's played here. Like, I hope nobody plays Luke List, because that's when I want to play Luke List. So how many people are going to play Luke List, man?
I'm one of them. I think I'll probably have List and Finau in 100% of my lineups.
Wow. Okay, how representative of that is like the general public?
Oh no, I mean, I'm a moron. Like nobody should do that. Like, there's no. Like, I don't understand. I'm not saying what's optimal. I'm saying what my dumb brain is doing.
What does early fan shares results have? Luke List is the oh man. Oh, it's good. He's not, unless I just scrolled right past him.
I mean, it's like how many people though have like shared their thoughts at this point?
Exactly. So it's way too early. Maybe Fantasy Nationals early projections has him as chalk. 17%.
Yeah, but again, if you just go 100%, like ownership doesn't matter. Like you just go all in.
Yeah, I guess everyone is just really willing to overlook all those things because it's hashtag new list, right?
It is new list.
Everybody believes it. So that's unfortunate that he is like shaping up to be that chalky, because I would really like to play List here, at least maybe more than I will.
Yeah, but I think
this is a great spot for Luke List.
What is chalky for him this week? What's
like $7,400 and 20% ownership? That's really hard to stomach because it's at $7,400.
You just go 40.
Yeah, but Luke List could easily miss the cut. Like that's the thing. Like I don't want a guy that's at 20% ownership at $7,400. I don't feel like I can. He has to really perform well in a GPP for me to realize the gain in the few lineups I'm going to play. I feel like I'm just plus EV to be on the other side of like heavy chalk below 7,500 or below like 7,800 really.
Yeah, I mean, I think that has a lot to do with
that may not be right.
Lineups.
That's just the way I feel when I play like limited lineups in the GPP.
Right, but don't you think that has a lot to do with how many lineups you're playing? Like, how many lineups are you talking?
Of course, I'm probably only going to play 10 lineups this week.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I could see that. I think if you're going to make 20 for whatever that, whatever the $4 or $3 20 max it is, I don't know. I could get on board with either like 15 lineups or 0 lineups. Like that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know. I just feel like I have a much better opportunity to put myself in an advantageous position, like in a GPP, to take like a first place. Because I mean, really, that's what we're playing for is a first place. I mean, that's what I'm playing for anyway. And if I, 20% of the field has List and I don't, and I only, you know what I mean?
Right. And if you
and I'm assuming Luke List plays well and doesn't miss the cut, but if 20% of the field has him and I'm in contention and he bogeys 2 holes in a row coming down the stretch, and finishes T30 instead of T15, like I gain just a monstrous advantage on Sunday, Sunday afternoon over the field. So that's sort of the way I think about it, is just getting like a lit lineup in contention on Sunday versus like heavy chalk. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
I'm wrong.
you could spread out like I'm saying, say, just for argument's sake, say you're going between 15 lineups of List and 0 lineups of List out of your 20. Like if you just save a couple $100, right, and you build 5 with Cauley, 5 with Benyon, and 5 with Hadley, I think you'll be overweight on all those guys and you'll probably do pretty well there, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So. I think Sean O'Hare is a guy that I'm going to play down at 7,300.
Yeah.
That'll put me in I don't think a whole lot of people are going to play Sean O'Hare.
I know. I know Jeff Ulrich will be, but.
Oh, really?
Nice. Yeah. No, it's not bad. What was he? He was top 5 at what was it? RBC last time we saw him.
Or
did he play Valero?
Second at Valero.
Oh, Valero. That's what I'm saying.
At the API, 12th at Valspar.
There you go.
But the reason I'm playing him this week is he's number 1. He ranks out number 1 in par 5 scoring over the last 50 rounds.
Sounds good to me.
So it's all about the par 5s this week.
Okay. Anyone else here in the 7K range you want to talk about? I do have my my $6,800 gem for the week.
Yeah, Bo Hostler 7,400 definitely deserves some consideration, I think, for a GPP play. And then
he needs to get his Sunday life together, though.
Sure, but that comes with like some experience, probably.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm saying from like a general just golf watching perspective. It's like that kid has been doing so well through Saturday, and then he's got to prove it to himself once, and I think he'll break through for some good some good finishes for the rest of the year.
For sure.
I think having a stronger field this week too. You have I don't know, not that I think he's the greatest play in the world, but at least Charles Howell is where he should be again, price wise.
Probably.
No, I'm saying in these weaker fields.
Yeah.
Even Streelman at 7,200, I know he's not long, but again, I would assume that those guys are going to make the cut. So I don't know. I'm just saying it's better than when CH3 is 9,200 in a shit field on a course that doesn't fit him, right?
Oh yeah. So Adam Scott legit cost me $10,000 last 2 weeks ago. Had I played literally anybody else besides
I hate Adam Scott so much.
I would have had what was a great weekend would have been just over the moon weekend. And I don't know if I think I'm probably going to play some Adam Scott again. I think I'll probably put him in a lineup again this week because I feel like his ball striking was not as awful as what his overall result was, because he's just a terrible putter. But I keep saying that putting doesn't matter, and if I'm playing a whole bunch of bad putters, I can't let my bias for losing literally thousands of dollars because of Adam Scott get in the way of making a poor decision against Adam Scott. I don't know. But I at this point I'm trending towards a strong dislike of Adam Scott based on results and unobtained earnings.
Hey, I'm with you. We had the whole Australia narrative that week, and it really bit me in the ass too. So I'm fully on board with that. I'm trying to pull it up real quick, and I know I don't think we have many more guys to talk about. But just talking about Adam Scott, it was that was one of the stone worst performances from a scoring perspective that you could ever imagine. Like he hit 13 of 18 greens and shot 75 with nothing more than a bogey.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not imagining. Yeah, you're right, because I just clicked on his name in Fantasy National, and he gained strokes off the tee and approaching, and he was just abysmal, like around the green and putting. So again, I'll end up playing Adam Scott, and he'll end up screwing me again. But I'm gonna do it.
Do it. I agree.
Oh goodness, Adam Scott's gonna make me like jump off a bridge one day. I swear.
It's brutal.
You know what's insulting? Vijay Singh costing $400 more than Lucas Glover.
Yeah, this is not a bad week for the glove.
It's not. Like his par 5 scoring is very good, actually.
Well, I think he's won here before, and he's like, if you look at his course history, like for all the years he's played here, I think he's only missed the cut like 2 or 3 times. I mean, maybe not a lot of upside if it gets to be like a scoring fest, but again, great ball striker, awful putter. Like the logic is there to play him.
Yeah, he's 12 of 13 here, cut wise.
Oh, even better than I thought then.
Wait, no, I'm lying. That's for the year. I lied.
Oh.
11
You really just let my hopes down there.
No. It's just as good. It's 11 of 14. So
that's good. That's good.
Not bad. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You going back to the Neiman well, James?
I don't think so. I think that was an exceptional performance by a talented kid, but I don't think that like he puts up another phenomenal weekend performance like that. I think just what I've just noticed from guys as you come onto the tour, you tend to perform really well for one event or two. This could be another good event, and then you have an adjustment period where you overthink things or you find out what you're deficient in, and you go to work, right? And the guys have to get themselves tour ready. Except for the very elite, I believe that everybody goes through that. And Neiman, with just such a great result coming off of why I played so much Neiman, what I felt like gave him an edge there is he played a lot of practice rounds with Sergio, who was the course designer. He and Sergio kind of became buddies, and he kind of put him under his wing and played several pre-tournament rounds with him and showed him all around the course personally, like what to really focus on. And that I believe is what really propelled him to succeed or to be able to succeed that week. I believe he's talented, but I think this week it's probably the start of that adjustment period where he doesn't have that benefit of his buddy Sergio kind of like helping him along, for the first little bit. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he played with him, right? Or no? But either way,
yeah, I don't remember.
That was why I was on Neiman then. I think that here it's maybe not. I think a lot of people will probably trend to him down here, and I don't know. I'd rather probably play Trey Mullinax.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Well, actually, I'd rather play Seamus Power. That's the guy I'm going to play down here. That's your 1% guy.
I like it. I don't know that I'm pulling the trigger this week. I probably will throw him in one lineup, but I am keeping an eye on Kevin Tway right now.
Oh, for sure.
I think he's showing some signs of life again, and I think this was sort of the time of year last year where he started to do pretty well, if I'm not mistaken. So just nothing crazy this week, but it wouldn't shock me if he sort of started to turn his season around a little bit.
I could see that starting to kind of find himself on the uptrend. Definitely fits the bomber narrative for this place. I kind of think that he would get popular, just sort of off the top of my head. Maybe he won't. Adam Schneck is another interesting guy. Just been playing better and better. I don't necessarily think he fits here, but I don't know. Maybe he does. I just keep seeing his name pop up on leaderboards and decent results, and compare for who he is and playing in some of these fields. Because if he's a web.com tour grad, he's a guy that's starting to find his footing Posting some T45s and T50s and stuff might be a cut maker for a Bombers or a Star Scrubs.
Sounds good to me. All right, what do you say we hit some one and done and get out of here?
Oh my God, I bombed on the one and dones because I forgot to pick a guy, even though I told you it was Charlie Hoffman. But it doesn't matter because he finished like T67 anyway, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. I'm pulling it up now. Geez, we're really at the point now in the year too where I'm like, I actually have to look and see who I've used because I could easily double up by accident.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we can just go for it here, but yeah, like before you pick, you kind of have to now.
Yeah. So I'm still hanging on to my lead, but I'm not feeling great about it anymore. So
I told you when you chose DJ, the season turned.
Oh God, here we go.
It's grand conspiracies.
It's not a grand conspiracy. It's my plot to take over the one and done.
Even better.
Plot for victory.
Who are we going here?
For me, it's probably going to be. Man, I don't think did I use Decky? If I haven't used Decky, I'll use Decky. But otherwise, it might be Bryson. I haven't used Bryson.
Yeah, see, now you're taking my picks out of the air. Yeah.
Bryson, huh?
So yeah, Bryson's in a great spot this week. I'll use Bryson too. He's my one and done.
That means see, I haven't used I haven't used Decky, so I'll use Decky here. That'll be my one and done. Bryson's gonna be super chalky this week, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it.
Oh man. All right. I think as of right now, I think I might actually go with Nurin. I think he's popped too well in my model.
Lots of leverage.
I think that will probably backfire horrifically in my face, but I will definitely update the viewing public if I change my mind, just for full tout accountability. But I'm thinking Norin. Yeah.
So Samson doesn't track us down. All right, guys, that'll do it for us. This has been the Bogey Free Podcast for the Wells Fargo. Of course, make sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes under Bogey Free. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube where we live stream. And of course, if we're not winning all the money, we hope you guys do. So good luck in your contest this week.
Sweet. See you.